Hello, 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 good morning and welcome. You are on the mountain with Rick, and it is time for some dragon memories. But first, Splinterlands, and before that, well, coffee. Except that's still brewing, so it's really not before. Anyways, how you doing out there, Bushwhack? Almost got the intro right. I'm proud of you. What's good with you? Hello, hello, anyone out there in YouTube land or Twitch land, wherever you might be watching from. Can you hear me? Can you see me? How we doing out there? I'm so tired. We got absolutely gobsmacked at work today. Alright, we got close range, aimless. What doesn't kill you? 51 mana. Earth, life, and death. Would really like an Inspire there, but it's alright. Oof, no, I think we're in trouble. Then again, maybe not. It really depends on their targeting. That was helpful. Trample. Got him. Got him. Booyah! Oh, he missed? How did he... Oh, force field. Like, how in the hell did he not kill him? Alright, we got the poison there. Damn, I was really hoping you were going to hit Flore again. I think we still got it, though. Boom, there it is. Ba, ba, ba. But first, coffee. That's right. That is indeed correcto mundo. Alright, we got Equalizer, Briar Patch, and 17 mana. We got no fire, no fire. Frickin' 17 frickin' mana. I hate frickin' 17 frickin' mana. I hate frickin' 17 frickin' mana, frickin' frack. You and you. We're going to go with you. That gives us 13 mana left. 13 of them. I guess we can try that. I don't like it, but we'll try it. Yeah. Coffee, 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 coffee. Alright. Ooh, that 5 I don't like. So I think we are actually probably going to lose here. Oof, yeah, no, we lose. We lose. We definitely lost that one. Yep, dang it. Oh, gug. You got your nuke back. I thought it was your computer you were waiting on, not your microwave. Oh, wait, no. Because you were on your... Wait, no. Yeah, the sub emoji. So, did you just resub? Well, thank you. And stupid fucking restream for not showing me that. Did you not have it while you didn't have your computer? No, because you would have been the same login on your phone or whatever, so you'd still have it, right? I guess that was the part that confused me. Either that or I'm just stupid one way or another, so whatevs. Oh, that means you're back on oh, yeah, we can also check and see if we can get our premium yet. Or actually log in, because we got premium. No, don't send again. That is not what I wanted. I want to log in. Oh, your PC's still down? That sucks. Alright, now I am logged in. Fantastic. And we'll go back to TerraLore. No settings found. I would check the power supply first, man. That's going to be a hell of a lot easier and cheaper, right? I always start with the easiest and cheapest and then work my way down. You don't want to replace your fucking alternator if what you need is a battery. You don't want to replace your battery if what you need is a serpentine cable. Or serpentine belt. Yeah, that's the real way to go about it. Send it. Send it. So I see the Splinterlands TV chat. Looks like SPS delegations are happening tomorrow. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I didn't watch the town hall today. I was working. Zero? That ain't right. 1059.9. But now watch, I refresh it, and that number will change. 1179.1. Ugh. Alright, we're going to go up to 600, and I think that's going to be a good place to call it. I think at this point, we are no longer collecting loot for Forsaken because we have no fucks to give! 0 fucks to give. Also, let's go to Nafty. I think I'm going to relist my Forsaken cards and lower the prices on them a little bit. Oh, I really hope I didn't just end up fleeing from a match. Alright, we got to claim on to the rewards from the nifty blocks. Where in the heck is all of our bandwidth? And interwebs spids. Yo, 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 what's good? How you doing, Jay?
Pretty good.
Cool, cool. What's good with you?
Not much. Just half asleep right now.
Half asleep. I'm half jealous. So tired. Alright, we are looking for... What was it? Warsaken.
What you doing?
I am relisting all of my... Wait, what? I have cards that are not listed? How the hell? What in the hell? Yeah, I still have too many Warsaken cards. Trying to get rid of them. Do you do Warsaken?
Yeah,
Do you want all of my cards?
sure. I don't have any wax though, so
I'm sure we can work out some other kind of trade if you are interested.
sure. Look through my collection. I have a lot of random collections that I don't know anything about.
That's always fun. I've gotten rid of a lot of those lately myself as well. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and only keep stuff that I know what it is, but
I'm a hoarder, so I just like hoarding everything.
right. So, 1%.
There's probably a few rug pulls.
Say what?
There's a lot of like rug pulls probably in my wallet.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I know there's one that I definitely do have that is definitely a rug. Dead End City. Alright, hurry up and load your shit so I can set my frickin' prices. Come here.
Which marketplace are you using to sell?
Nefty.
Pretty good. No one uses NFT Hive or not Atomic Hub to sell anymore.
I never
Or
really did.
barely no.
I don't really care for Atomic Hub overall. There are a couple things there that are cool, like being able to look up your profile stats and whatnot, but I just don't care for the interface.
You could do that in NFT Hive too.
Oh, cool. I really don't use NFT Hive much at all. I've started getting more into it when like people are doing listings on there and shit. But... Put up another 55 cards. Nope, I guess we're not putting up another 55 cards. We only get 2 transaction worth before it's like, you don't have enough RAM.
Oh yes, RAM is a huge problem for everything.
It also looks like my stream might be dying.
Well, you just have to wait until everything else settles.
Yikes. Wow, I am bogging down like a motherfucker. Okay, yeah, because it is RAM that I need if I won't let me list, right? Not CPU.
Yes. CPU is automatically recharged.
Yeah, and I should be plenty high on that. My PC specs, I got a Lenovo IdeaPad 3 bone stock, so nothing. Nothing special. Claim all.
How's the work on your own project?
Pretty good, pretty good. We're coming along. We've got actually more progress as far as like actual gameplay than I would have expected, like coming into it, because our dev is also working on his own project, and so he's doing a lot of things kind of side by side in tandem and whatnot. And so we actually already have like I haven't started really importing the maps or the skins or anything like that for the characters or the levels or anything like that, but we already have kind of the basic movement system in place and whatnot, and it's looking pretty dope. I actually had a stream the other day. I got on and I was just super tired. I was not planning on even doing a full 2-hour stream, and then Mike joined me a little less than an hour in, and we ended up talking until 7 in the morning. Like, we did talk for over 6 hours and just hammered some shit out, and it was fucking epic. And then my co-creator has been working on a pretty major project of writing up the history of the world from the point of view of the giants, which is something that will be... I've been kind of going through, editing some things, making sure that everything fits and whatnot, and then we're going to be doing that as some kind of little lore releases along the way to drum up some hype and excitement and everything like that. And of course, it's like, there's the actual history of the world, then there's the way the giants saw the history of the world, then there's the way the dragons saw the history of the world, and then there's, you know, what you could actually learn from the humanoids, which is very little because most of their history has been destroyed. But it's gonna be fun watching people trying to, you know, tease out some of the mysteries and kind of disagreements. Alright, rewards are claimed. Let's go. Cloud wallet. Claim that shit. So where have you been? I haven't seen you on in a little while. Everything going well with you?
Yeah, work stuff.
Gotcha. Just started a new job as well. So I feel you on that. It's been hell getting used to the new schedule again, especially after like 5 months of not working. It would just being
Mhm.
full-time content and everything like that, and then still trying to keep up with my content schedule, even while working full-time, is it's a wake-up. Wednesday. Mm. Is some good coffee. Approve. Been doing a lot of work on the world itself. Been working on maps and whatnot as well. I've been hammering out world maps for all 6 sides at various points throughout the 350,000 year history, kind of showing how some of the things have changed and a lot of things have not.
Okay. Seems like a lot of work has been done.
Yes, still got a long way to go, but not shying away from it, enjoying every step, and yeah, hammering through. We have a semi-official roadmap. It's not like a pretty document or anything like that. It's just text right now, but like we've got a lot of the
Not a full wallpaper, white paper.
yeah.
Why did I say wallpaper?
No full white paper yet. That will be coming this quarter. There's still some things that we got to work on, like with tokenomics, and I want to at least have like the equipment cards minted, and so that we understand more about that exact process, and like I want to be able to do something special with the races. I want to be able to do like a PFP style thing, but the only one of those that I know of on Hive is Hive Punks, and I'm really, really not impressed with the artwork on the Hive Punks. So if if they would have to look like that, then I would have to figure out a way to do it elsewhere. I mean, even the art style of Rooney is not what I'm going for, but at least it would be better. So I don't know. That's something that I'm still really working on figuring out. I'm talking to a lot of people who know a lot more about Hive than I do. I know that it could be done on Wax, because Wax has plenty of PFPs, but also none of those are really exactly the art standard that I'm looking for. But again, maybe that's just something that comes down to the actual project and building it and setting that up for the procedural generation. So I'm not really certain at this moment how we're going to move forward with that particular aspect of things, and that's obviously something that I kind of have to know before we can put it in the white paper. So we are working on the white paper. I've got like outlines and whatnot. I'm filling it out, but it's definitely not yet ready for release. And kind of the roadmap the same way. It's like it's pretty well filled out, but it's not actually like set or anything yet. But and give you a run through here. And if there's anything that you see that I'm missing, I mean, that's why it's not official yet. So we've already got our movement controls in, forward, sides, backwards, jump. World maps complete. Phase 1 is almost done. I've got the tool that I'm using, Incarnate. I have to sub to, which I'm waiting for my first check from my job to actually clear the bank right now, but as soon as I've got that, then I can sub. I've got 10 maps made already, and that is the maximum for the free account. And then once we have the full account, then I'm going to be able to make them a whole lot better as well, because it'll also unlock all of the tools and niftiness that they have and everything like that. And then we are going to put together a digital model of the actual cube with all of the sides properly positioned and everything like that, so that we can start figuring out exactly how the rotations work. Because I have a very different time system for Galil as well, and each side is going to kind of have its own theme in terms of, day and night cycles and everything as well. So that's one of the things that we're working on, and basically just kind of picture that as the planet orbits the sun, it's actually rolling through space, like a die rolling. And yes, Bushwhack, I was totally clicking on cookies. And then we've started designing some of the screens, like just very rudimentary, putting shit down, like building spreadsheets, and then just kind of illustrating them. So obviously very rudimentary. But also figuring out kind of all of the screens that we need. Game world timing is in with the rotations, obviously. Our basic equipment lists are getting pretty filled out, but they're not quite done yet. White paper and actual roadmap. We want to have our tokens produced, and I want to have 10 full levels, the first set of levels, finished this quarter. And we're making really good progress on that as well. We want to get our characters, the frames I've been also developing for the cards themselves. I've been working on a from scratch frame, and my computer image manipulation skills are not necessarily the best. So what I really want to do is just get a good, solid kind of launch point built, and then allow somebody who can do a better job to take it from there. But I have some new tools for that and for other things that I've been working with and learning how to figure out as well. I got a couple of websites we need to launch, and then actually intro and load screens need to come out and go here. And then we are gonna have the official docs, or because we're gonna do KYC on the game, we have to docs the team. So that'll also be officially put out this quarter, and that'll be part of our official announcements. And one of the things I'm actually looking forward to is sponsoring some other content creators that I've been paying a whole lot of attention to, and getting things out there that way. That's going to be fun. Then next quarter we're going to have all of our cards finished, all of our logos finished. We're going to have all 100 levels, each of which has the 10 instances. So all 1,000 instances for both Kamodora and Lakerum. All game lore complete for all 5 of the dungeons. And our wallet interactions, full animations, combat mechanics. I'm going to have another computer by that point. The frame is going to be completely done, and we're going to have to figure out what we're doing with our servers and get a staking pool set up on the Wax DAO. And these are some things that are obviously that we're working on as well. And actually, along with the Wax DAO, we need to be whitelisted for Atomic Hub and Nifty, etc. with Dragon Memory. And Q4, we're going to have our real packs available to swap out for the pack vouchers that we currently have. So at least, when people are interacting with the pre-sale, they are getting something now. We have a voucher for the pack that I designed myself, and it's actually available for purchase directly on Wax for someone who is not looking to take advantage of the full pre-sale discounts. If you're getting between 1 and 9 packs, you can just literally buy them directly off of Wax. And then we're going to be doing a redemption program, bringing those in, burning them for actual packs that are openable, and those will probably be on Hive. I'm picturing pretty much all of the actual game NFTs are going to be Hive. Or maybe even not Hive. Maybe even like how Splinterlands cards aren't really on Hive, they're kind of on Splinterlands. That's more kind of what I'm looking at. We got a few smart contracts we got to get figured out for Q4. We're going to have our airdrop rewards beginning then, start doing our whitelisting, launch the pre-alpha, have all of the item lore done, and then end of the year is going to be a server wipe, and in quarter 1 we're going to launch the actual alpha. And we need to have a market there and Wax custody so that you'll be able to bring any NFT, any of the promo NFTs that you have on Wax. You're going to be able to actually bring them off of Wax out of your wallet and into the game so that you can free up some CPU and you don't have to worry about holding them there. So it's definitely a lot of fucking work left to go, but I'm so stoked.
Looks pretty well planned.
Thank y'all.
And a reasonable time frame too.
That's one of the things that I'm trying very diligently to stay on top of, because I know that I have set a realistic but difficult goal by going for a Q4 release, because I as we've seen, it definitely can be done. Look at Astral Revelations. They're in pre-alpha right now, and the idea happened in November. But they also, Spirit Search has a lot more coding experience and whatnot than I do. So I feel he had a little bit less of a learning curve, and I'm very excited to see Astral Revelations grow as well. And he was very much part of the inspiration behind getting my ass actually moving on things. And then now I'm so much happier with it now that we found Mike, and we have, our team is pretty much set together. The only people I'm still really looking for is the lead designer in terms of visuals and the lead sound designer. And I have some people that I've already reached out to as far as working on individual projects on those in those areas, but as far as the overall the team lead, I don't have anyone that's really expressed any super interest in those yet. We need to go to
Team lead is semi-important, but not too important. You can go without that.
Yeah, I mean, if as long as I can get everything that we need provided one way or another, I don't really care whether, everyone's reporting directly to me or whether I actually have someone in charge of it. I would just, for ease of delegation and whatnot, I would prefer to have just one person in charge of all of it. But yeah, doesn't have to be at all. Yeah, it's definitely RAM that I'm out of. So let's put in another 10 wax worth. I kind of don't actually want to sell that card just because it's number 1111. I might have to go back in and unsell that one. Yeesh, come on. Alright, sign that one. And a number 4. Yay! Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 9 taking forever like it's trying to brew a love potion. Wow, number 9 seriously taking for days. Let go, let go, let go. Let go. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Go. Let go, let go, let go. Let go. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Go. Oh wow, you're still going. Come on now. I'm close out. We're going to restart.
Well, good night. I'm heading off.
Alrighty, man. Thanks for joining us. You have yourself a great night. Let go. Let go. Are you serious? Let go. Let go. Are you serious? Guess I should have just guessed that it wasn't gonna work like that. When it wasn't working like that at all. Yo, yo, what's good, Bushwhack? Farfig Nugan. Yeah, we totally can't list all of our shit. Fuck it, I guess we'll just do another 10 into RAM.
Have lax or Forsaken prices even, what do you call it, recovered recently? Or are they still like
I have
rock
no idea.
bottom?
I've never really watched their prices or anything like that. I'm just getting out of it because I'm sick and tired of claiming that fucking piddly ass little shit every day.
I was your dev guy, he's using Unreal Engine 5, right?
Yeah.
They just did some like demos recently. Like some of the new software they're coming out with is ridiculously good.
Cool.
Especially for like smaller groups or smaller projects trying to put something cool out.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that he has shown me, both for his game and just like what we're able to do with my own, like, is just like, holy fuck. It's amazing. He's really he's got something good going there, and I'm proud to have him on the team and call him one of us.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of the conference. I'll have to look it up for you. But like with an iPhone, just an iPhone, you can do like one take of somebody's face, and it'll like translate into the game
Oh
in
wow,
almost real time. It's freaking ridiculous.
that's dope as shit.
It's going to be really interesting to see what Web3 quality is like in just a few years from now.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, like, I wasn't really like grandiose dreams or anything like that when I first started thinking about putting something together and shit. But as I've been working with him and whatnot and seeing what we are putting together, it's like, maybe we actually will be part of pushing the gaming forward. Like, because I think it's actually a really cool concept to have more of an active battling style, and it's there's still some things to figure out on that, whether we're going to have a turn-based or an active, how much movement is going to be involved in combat. But if I could actually get like Diablo style combat in it's just, small rooms that are set off encounter by encounter to make it blockchain friendly, I think that that's going to be something that is a really good kind of step towards the kind of AAA games that are out there. And I mean,
Well,
obviously, I'm not saying that I'm gonna fucking be competing with, Blizzard or Bungie or anything like that. Obviously not. They've got all of the experience and great teams and everything like that. But I think that we could do something that is more of significantly more of an engaging gameplay than we've seen from a lot of other things. Particularly on Hive. Like, I want it to feel a lot less like a card game. I want it to feel like your gear is NFTs, but the game itself is not.
really, anything that's not an auto battler would be so refreshing.
Yeah.
Even if it was like Diablo 1 level graphics.
Right? And that's why I was saying, like, I wasn't really trying to go insane on the graphics. I just wanted to get a good gameplay experience out there. But, when we started talking with Mike and everything like that, and he started showing me what he's doing, it's like, I mean, I'm not at all opposed to having a beautiful game. I just figured it would be easier to make an ugly game that plays well. And that would be, preferable to a beautiful game that plays like shit. Like, I'm definitely on the gameplay is the most important thing train. But if we can make it look pretty, then fuck yes, let's make it look pretty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And especially now, like a lot of Unreal Engine 5. There's Unreal Engine 5, something about Fortnite. Like that is the sandbox that it's in. Like anything you make in that, you would be able to play on PlayStation 5. Like it would sync with it no problem.
Nice.
So you don't even have to worry about marketing. Like when you make a pretty game, that means your PC has to have a nice graphics card, etc. But if you can get it off on the consoles easily.
Yeah. And that was another one of my concerns. It's like, I don't want to make it graphically intensive to the point where I can't play it. Because I have old and outdated equipment. And I want this to be a game that anybody would be able to play. Because it's, I mean, not supposed... I don't want it to be super insane in the graphics. But, yeah, if we can make it look nice, let's make it look nice. So we do have, like, 3D modeling and stuff like that. It's going to be a bit more intense than I had originally pictured. But it's still going to be on the lower end. I'm not trying to, go head-to-head. I'm probably not going to be putting in any ray tracing. Like, I don't think we need to go that level.
Well, also, like, if I feel like you used Unreal Engine 5 to, like, even make the NFTs, I mean, they got so many objects in there already for you.
Yeah, we are going to be using a lot of that. A lot of, like, the legendaries and probably a bunch of the epics will still be, commissioned from artists and whatnot. But yeah, we do already have a lot of good stuff for commons and rares on the equipment card that, yeah, the bonus is that we can then just, we don't need to do anything to throw them into the game. We already have them there. Everything else I know I'm going to have to end up getting, like, 3D models done and everything like that, and it's going to be a lot to go into it to get something that looks good on a card and in the game. But that's definitely, that's something that he already turned me on to, because I had been planning on just, like, fuck it, I'm going to use AI art for all of the commons. And then,
right.
We'll figure some better stuff out for rares, epics, and legendaries. But I'll just use AI for all the commons to make it, cheap and easy. And then he was like, oh, by the way, I just have all of these packs that are free, and I've already downloaded them, and we can use these royalty-free. And I'm like, Yeah, let's do that!
Like I was looking at card creators and stuff you can buy on Steam, but like if you can actually get objects, like 3D objects, do you really need a card to put it on? I mean, you can put stats like off to the side or something. I don't know. Do you even really need to follow that format?
Because of the fact that we're already doing packs, and I do like the pack mechanic behind it. I do like the way that the card carries info, but I guess you're right, it's not strictly necessary.
Like it could be part of the metadata on the asset, but I know what you mean. It makes it more easily digestible for people. They're
Yeah,
used to.
and because I want you, well, not necessarily I want you, but because a big part of the game is going to be leveling up your equipment, I feel like the cards make that more easily digestible to people and easier to kind of communicate the actual mechanisms of improvement, because it is still going to be a fairly complicated process. You got 3 different kind of levels, and each one is kind of gate-kept by the one before it. So you can't just have like a level 50, common axe that you haven't even done any lore upgrades on, or haven't, fused out any other copies of that same common axe into. So there's going to be a lore level, which allows you to learn more about the items. There's going to be the rarity level, which is increased by fusing cards together, much like you level them up in Splinterlands. And then you're going to have an experience level, which the lore points and the experience points drop in the dungeon, and those are used for all cards. So every single time that you're going in, you're going to be earning, almost every room, you're going to earn both mementos and recollections, or memories and recollections. The memories is the lore, the recollections is the experience, but you're going to get those in pretty much every room as you're going through, and then it's your choice to what to spend them on, which cards are most important. They're also going to be the tradable and play to earn portion of it. So those 2 tokens are your profit taking and also your improvement. And there'll also be NFTs that drop and everything like that too. But everything is really going to be kind of built around leveling up the NFTs to get better and get stronger so that you can progress further in, and then also selling those coins so that others can buy them to level up their stuff as well. And I think that is probably the thing about everything that I'm envisioning for Dragon's Memories, aside from the world of Galil itself. I think that is the thing that is going to set it apart from every other game out there, is that kind of multiple method of upgrading your gear combined with that also being the play to earn side of things. Like those tokens are used for every single card in your deck, so you will never not have a use for them. And yet at the same time, that also means that everybody else wants them too, because nobody has enough. And nobody will ever have enough, because that experience level is going to be unlimited. Like the lore level, you're not going to continue to get new lore blurbs about every common item indefinitely. There'll probably be like level 8, something like that for commons, that you'll actually get, the lore part of things. But after that, you can keep leveling it up so that you can keep increasing the max level. But you don't really get at the new lore itself out of it. So, because I mean, really, how much can you say about an axe? A basic axe, like
Used by so and so in this battle. Yeah.
no, but even like a common axe wouldn't even be able to have that kind of individual history about it. It would just be
Right.
It'd be like the Douglas Adams quote: "Has no more idea of his future than a tea leaf knows the entire history of the Dutch East India Trading Company." All right, I guess we're gonna close this, confirm, and try transaction 11 again. Hopefully, it'll go through this time.
Either way, even 8 levels per common minimum, that's still a lot of lore.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the legendaries and everything, you know, the chase cards are going to have a lot more than that, and each level is probably going to be more sufficient as well. Sufficient is not the word I was going for there. Significant as well. So yeah, we definitely got a lot of work to do, and the nose is to the grindstone, but I'm super excited about it. I'm enjoying it every day. I'm waking up, I'm sitting out back, watching the birds and butterflies in the garden, and just sitting there writing. So there's a lot of stuff that I have down on paper that I don't have in the official documents yet. Yeah, I mean, real progress is being made. There's a lot of work happening, and at least 3 times a week I'm doing significant updates on these documents as well, that y'all like within this area, particularly the ones in the back room, are able to see. I don't know if you've actually been in there lately, in the tavern office. But in the dimly lit table area, we've got on the pinned messages basically all of my my documents that are we're basing everything on. And by the way, you actually have editing power on them as well. Don't fuck me over and strip everything out or anything like that. But
I'm checking now on Discord. I don't see any channels like that.
right under giveaways, there's one called Tavern Office.
I see Hidden Mountain Cavern blog work.
Oh, I guess we haven't added you to Tavern Office yet. Let me fix that now. Edit category. Add members. Bushwhack. Done. All right, now you can see it.
I'm gonna have to restart Discord to actually get it on my end, but take a look at it. Probably gonna be on much longer. Anywho, I actually got a reason to wake up in the morning for once tomorrow. So,
Oh yeah, what's that?
Some call I gotta be on.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, I'm excited after seeing like some of that stuff Unreal Engine 5 is capable of. It's just making it. It's just streamlining this stuff where you don't need all these experts on your roster. It's putting it within smaller projects grasps. Is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Super
definitely a huge boon I can't imagine trying to actually do this all from scratch. Like, I can't even fathom what, the old school game designers had to go through. Like, trying to make that work right now just makes my head hurt. So, like, I'm totally very pumped about the fact that they're now giving us more and more tools. And like even Splinterlands, the company with the SDKs and whatnot, all of the ways that they're providing software as a service, like I'm sure that I'm gonna be in talks with them and using some of that stuff as we grow. And I mean, they've also talked about expanding or kind of leasing out a framework similar to Splinterlands TV. And, I mean, obviously that's a ways down the road. We'd have to have a pretty large community of players and content creators before I'd even consider, like, actually doing something like that. But I definitely don't hate the idea. I think that, when Aggie and Ron had that conversation that led to Splinterlands TV, like, I feel like that was pretty fucking groundbreaking, and I would not mind being like the second or third one doing something along those lines. Again, that's way down the fucking road, like late next year at the earliest, but there's a lot of stuff that's out there that is made available for people, and I'm super stoked about it. One of the biggest worries that I have actually is I don't want to be in a position like Splinterlands or Rising Star where in order to make my game work, I have to make a market that is kind of substandard. Because let's be realistic, the Splinterlands market fucking sucks. And Rising Star's market sucks even fucking worse. Like, if it weren't for Peak Monsters and card auctions and NFT Mart and RSG Fam, neither of those games would have gotten anywhere. Because, I mean, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing either necessarily. Like, Matt and Aggie should not necessarily be focused on building the best market. They should be focused on building the best game. And, they have a market that works well enough, but you have much better options right around the corner. And then you have links, official links from within the game to those much better options. And that is, I feel, the right way to handle it. And Rising Star did the same thing. Like, here is a market, this will get the job done, but you're going to hate every step of using it because I'm focused on making the game and not the marketplace. If you want a better marketplace experience, go here.
Yeah, that's like exactly what Nifty Arcade's doing. They're taking on that role for the game company. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I'm very glad to be in tight with Nifty. Like, they will absolutely be. I'm gonna tap on them and have them integrated into being able to rent out a deck of cards similarly to Splinterlands. Like, with our public launch, I want to have Nifty on board with it and able to support it immediately. Like, because I fucking love Nifty. I don't use them all that much anymore, not due to anything that they did or anything like that, simply because I got that amazing deal from Holozor, and it's like, okay, I don't have to look for decks anymore. And then, because I'm not playing nearly as much, there's really no point to me to be playing a second account. Like, I actually did get a Nifty deck on Rick Wins Again, and I think I played maybe 15 games for the month that I had it.
Right, and really, if you have a deck you can play, they'd probably rather you leave them available for other people anyway, right?
Yeah, well, they would rather that they're all taken, because they're making money every day off of that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and I was only, it was one of the Splinterlands bronze decks. So they made, what, like 50,000 of them or some shit like that? Like, they made a lot of fucking decks.
It'll be interesting
Weight exaggeration, but
how they go about identifying bots, and maybe that'll be enough. I don't know what you call it, valid experience, like push on Splinterlands themselves about using it to identify bots.
right. Now, okay, and because I know how strongly you feel on the bot issue, what is your feeling about that as far as Dragon Memories? Like, just from the things that you understand about how things work and whatnot, do you see it being something that is going to be really attractive to bot farmers? And do you
I don't
feel like
see how they'd be able to do it with random room every time.
Well, no, okay. So it's not going to be random room every time. It's actually going to be like a pretty straightforward storyline. Is kind of one of the things that I've been realizing. I don't know how I could make the procedural generation actually work and keep it fair. Also, and keep it interesting. Especially not with, looking at one of the things I wasn't really thinking of when I first started putting things together and identifying the concept is just how little there's going to be able to do in the very early game. Because when we're talking, like, I'm literally exploring the lore starting at the breaking of the world, and there were no people for quite a while after the breaking of the world, like 1,000 years. So the very early part is like, well, okay, well, what are we actually going to do to have a gameplay here? But I feel like, and that was more of an issue when I was looking at a static, just room-to-room encounter where you're not even moving and it's just straight-up turn-based slog combat, which is fun in its own right, but is definitely inferior to, actually having the agency to move around your character, use different abilities, decide different things and whatnot. And so... Go ahead.
Oh, you might be hearing my dog whine or something. I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. So I have kind of settled on it's going to be a relatively straight shot with the storyline. There will be some levels that change based on certain things. Like, there will absolutely be certain levels that have something special for the first person who ever reaches them. And that's some alpha for you right there. I'm sure you can probably already guess what one of them is. I'm not, saying anything specific, but there will definitely be something very special for the first person who ever hits floor 11-1.
11p1, yeah.
And then, like, they're first person who clears 25 and 50 and 75 and 100, like major milestones like that. There'll be something there. There'll also be a couple of spots where the first person to go through the room faces the regular version, but the second one gets something special. And then there'll be another spot where the third one gets something special, and another spot where the fourth one gets something special, just to kind of spread it around. Because I know if I did, 25, 50, 75, 100, first person through them gets something, it's probably going to be the first person who is through 25 is going to get 50, 75, and 100, because then they just got that additional bonus over everyone else, and now nobody else is going to get it. So, again, trying to, keep things fair and whatnot. We are going to have a leaderboard because of the fact that the dungeons reset every day, and I've been leaning more towards the idea that we're not actually going to run it as a day on Earth. We're going to run it as a day on Galil, which doesn't change things extravagantly, but it does change things. Because Galil, so all right, so how much do you know about D&D?
Very little actually.
Okay. So in Dungeons and Dragons and most tabletop RPGs of that ilk, a minute is 10 rounds. We're keeping that concept, right? A minute is 10 rounds. That means that in D&D, each round is about 6 seconds, which kind of makes the breakdown of what you can do in a single combat round make a lot more sense. So we're keeping that, right? 10 rounds is a minute, and a minute is a minute. However, in Galil, those combat rounds are 10 seconds, and a minute is 100 seconds. So a minute on Galil is still the same length as a minute on Earth. But it's 100 seconds instead of 60 seconds. And that's just the beginning of things. So their seconds are effectively 66% shorter, or 34% shorter than our seconds. But the minute to the hour is 100 rather than 60. And then there are 10 hours to a day rather than 24.
So what would they wouldn't be a 24-hour period, it'd be a 10-hour period
Yes.
for the daily. And that's Galil hours though. What is that like in Earth hours?
Each Galil hour is a little bit longer than each Earth hour. So basically, all right, so you
Well, that's kind of cool because even if it's about 50-50, that gives like the Philippines have an edge on a certain part of the day, and then continental U.S. would have an edge on another part of the day because they're actually awake. I'll be right back. I gotta shut this dog up.
all right. So each Galil day is equal to 16 hours and 40 minutes Earth time. Which means that you would actually be gaining a little over 7 hours on your daily quest every day. So if you do your daily quest religiously, by the end of the week, you'll have gotten at least 2 extra daily quests in your week.
Cool. It'll be interesting if that plays out with Earthlings.
And then my question is, so we know that we're doing the reset as far as entries and whatnot, but do we go the route of when the reset happens, everybody is brought back, and so everybody starts from scratch in the dungeon at that point? Or do we allow you to continue exploring indefinitely and then recall when you're done? I'm kind of leaning towards the first.
I like the idea of it being like, maybe this is like way far ahead, but like there's going to be a Twitch stream that's, 16-hour and 40-minute Galil run, like they're trying to grind as far down as they can into the dungeons.
Yeah. And see, that is where I think that we might still actually be open to bot abuse, because even though we're only going to have the one entry per day, so it's obviously not like you're going to have, a bot playing 1,000 games a day, like some of them used to do in Splinterlands before the energy system. And you're still limited on the amount of energy that you can earn, although that is not a hard limit because that can be, mitigated with NFTs and whatnot. And then what the bot could actually do though is still, picking your team or picking your gear, your loadout, and then the actual playing to help you get further down into the dungeon. And I don't love it, but I don't necessarily hate it either.
I think, well, one, it would be easier to identify bots, I believe, in a 3D game because they are going to be acting like if they're running the same script, they're running the same script. There's going to be no deviation, like as far as movement, etc. And even if you didn't want to take on like banning them outright, you could always be like, well, if you want to run scripts, we're going to take whatever 10% off your loot that you're going to earn. Like you can make it to where it's more beneficial to be a real life human being doing it.
Fair. And then, we also have the KYC, which is going to stop bot farms. So, I'm not sure. Maybe I just say, if you want to run a bot, run a bot. As long as it's only one account, I don't actually mind. And, because really I don't. If you're enjoying playing the game, then play it by hand. If you're only here to extract value, then you're not going to do it very well even with a bot. Because if all you're concerned with is pulling profits, then you're not going to get very far into the dungeon because the profits are what you need to level up your cards to get further in the dungeon. So I feel like that is honestly the anti-bot measure there, is the fact that what you would be selling is also what you would be using to progress. Because with the tiers on Splinterlands and whatnot, once your bot account once you are happy with the level of your bot account, you can just stop there and sell everything from that.
And what would really suck though is if they are able to get on participate in the leaderboards with human players.
That is true, because we are going to have leaderboards, and I do want them to be fairly pretty strong incentive. Let me see where leaderboards were at. If I can remember what spreadsheet and where they're located. Did have a write-up for that as well. And this is just first draft, very rudimentary ideas on the leaderboards, but something that we have been thinking about and at least writing something up on, once it loads.
And really, Splinterlands, they have a good idea about how to do it. It's just, try to make it as little advantage as possible to just use an automation tool.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like as soon as you said with the 3D would kind of be anti-bot as well, you're absolutely right about that, because while it might be able to make decisions faster and make things simpler, it's probably not actually going to be able to play through and make all the correct decisions at the correct times and get you further. And that's basically how it works. And so what we got here is floor would come first, and then room, and then time is our three kind of first rings. So anybody, whoever's on the highest floor and then the highest room, that's going to be the winner. And then if there's a tie, it's going to come down to the time. Notes, you must be alive. So you cannot push until you die and still claim a leaderboard prize. You would be disqualified from the leaderboard for that day. But highest floor, highest room, fastest. And then if there is a tie there, like if two people finished the same floor same room at exactly the same time and neither one of them pushed forward, then it would go to highest PXP, which is player experience. So basically whoever's played the game the most.
That'd be cool. We have like a live leaderboard so you can see, man, I got to push at least 2 more levels to get to this spot.
Yeah, no, that is exactly how I want that to work. And we're also going to be sometimes you're not going to want to push up. Like maybe you're in 11th and you need memories more than recollections. You're going to try and stay in 11th because the top 10 payout recollections, the bottom 10 payout memories. I always find it interesting when you have that kind of choice that you have to make between, well, do I want to move up or do I want to improve myself for the future? Either way, you're going to do, both. It's not like the recollections are not going to help at all. But sometimes you'll be in a position where those memories actually matter more.
Yep.
And I have not... Oh, okay, and yeah, so floor times room. That is the other thing about it. There's not a specific number of recollections or memories that are handed out. It's another reason why sometimes it might be better to not move forward. Because... if you're at floor 97, room 10, the person above you is at floor 99, room 1. Well, floor 99, room 1 is going to get them that second place position, but they're only going to get 99 recollections out of it. Whereas you being on floor 97, room 10, you'll get 970.
That's a lot more.
But also, if you were to go to 98-1, that's a bit... You better be confident that you're going to be able to clear that floor or at least push deep into that floor before you actually enter that floor. Because there's a few different ways that things can kind of play out. So every 10 levels, you can just... In between those levels, you can just call it, be good, go back home, collect all of your stuff right now, and be happy, start preparing for your next run. If you push too deep and you can't survive and you die, you will get your lore or your memories and your recollections, but you will lose any NFTs that you got throughout that journey. Can't take it with you if you die. And then you would also not be eligible for a leaderboard position for that run. And then if you keep pushing forward and just keep going, you run out of energy. You can just keep pushing as that energy regenerates. Or you can keep going until there's something that you feel like you can't survive anymore. And so you just stop. And with either one of those, then when the dungeon resets, you'll just come back and you'll be able to claim your stuff and whatnot, and you'll be good. But if you don't actively leave the dungeon at that 10th floor, then you don't get your NFTs until the next day starts and you come back. But that's also why I'm thinking it really needs to be a hard thing of once per day. So when that day resets, everything resets. There's nobody still in there. You have to, and that also makes it that much a little bit more difficult to clear all 100 floors because you have to do it in 16 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it, and it ain't perfect. We definitely got a long way to go on figuring things out and whatnot still, but I feel like it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, changes are a sure thing. I mean, look at Splinterlands. They said there's never going to be a neutral summoner. Boom, neutral summoner. There's never going to be multi-splinter monsters. Boom, what happened today?
Oh, so did you catch the town hall? Do we have any official word on that?
I watched like maybe 30 minutes of it. It's a creature. It's life and death splinter. It's like 7 mana, and it looks like depending on which splinter you play it with, the abilities change that it uses.
That's kind of nifty, actually. I dig that.
It's a pretty expensive card.
Oh yeah,
but it did like 5 range damage. It's 7 mana, I believe.
Oh, I thought you meant money wise. How much is it going to cost? Or did they not say that?
Yeah, a lot of people are. It's the promo card, right? Yeah, it's going to be like 80 something bucks each.
Oof.
And I think that's with using all of the discounts as far as vouchers and deck.
Well, I guess I'm not getting one then.
Yeah, there was some salt in there regarding
is it
that.
At least going to be max leveled for that $80?
No, that's 1 BCX.
Oof. Yeah,
and it's legendary salt 11.
Yikes! I mean, it's one thing to I mean, any kind of TCG, you're always going to have whales because you'll have people that are able to buy everything. But when you start pricing people out of being able to afford anything, I think that's where the problem is. Like, there's a point at which, yeah, you can't have everything. But
I mean, like, their promo in December, the bear, that was pretty affordable, $4 each, but it was a common, so you need like 400 BCX to max.
Yeah, but it also wasn't $4 each. It was buy a pack and get one for free.
Yeah.
Which, granted, is still $4 each, but you're not paying $4 for the card. You are paying $4 for a pack, and you're getting the card. And I mean, you could actually get them as cheap as what, $1.37? Like with the big bulk buys that were going on and shit like that. So like, there were still ways to get it relatively affordably. But even if you were, I mean, like Vruz. Vruz was a fucking voucher.
And 1,000 SPS staked, yeah.
Yeah, you did have to have the SPS stake, but I mean, all he cost was a voucher, and that's what I mean. And look at the appreciation he's had since then. I mean, he's over 50 cents now from fucking what, 17, 16? Less than that, because that was the cost of the voucher. Like, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of these high ticket items because it's like,
Yeah, like you said, even just making one BCX for $80. Come on. But
Exactly.
Aggro did have a decent point that these are promo cards, so they're getting that extra 10% earning per battle, and whatever that's going to translate into production points for land.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either, but that's the thing that gives it value is because now not as many people will get it, so not as many are going to get printed, so it's that much rarer.
yeah, I'm not saying that it's not worth it. I'm just saying that I don't like it as a business practice because in all honesty, they would make more money by having it
Selling it cheaper.
cheaper and available to where more people can purchase it. Like if it was $5 for a single copy, and then in order to max it out, you need $80. Or if it was $80 but it is maxed out, I feel like you're gonna have a lot more people that are interested in that, and therefore you're going to actually get more net off of it than pricing things higher.
In the grand scheme of things, I mean, land that's going to be wild games from here until eternity, but with prospects what, like season whatever passes, I think what's going to happen is things are going to be a lot more achievable for non-whales. Like as far as like getting in on the sales, it's going to be a lot cheaper.
Hopefully, we'll see. I've got one plot of land, and I don't really have a whole lot of hope for being able to do much of anything super productive with just one plot of land. So my current plan for said plot, which of course is a mountain, very basic, none of the bonuses on the surveying, anything like that. I think I'm gonna try and build a guild arena for brawls. I think that that just jumped out at me as being cool as shit from the moment they first said it, and I know that it's gonna take me forever to clear my shit anyways, because I don't really have any high PP monsters to put over there, and then especially not shit that I'm not using. So I know it's probably going to take me a while to clear it, and hopefully by the time I clear it, they actually introduce that, or maybe I can manage it to be one of the first ones who starts building it or something like that. I think it would be really cool to have a guild arena on the mountain, though.
I mean, think about it. Like the whole point of land is so players can start minting their own spells, right?
Yes.
And how many plots of land are there? Like a few hundred.
150,000.
And there's how many battles a day? Like millions.
Yes.
So I think even with just having one plot of land, that's gotta if they want to keep up with demand, they're gonna have to. I mean, we're going to see how much it's going to cost and how hard it's going to be to make spells. But I would think even just have one plot, you're going to be doing yourself a big favor, even if it's just using the spells you create.
That's the thing, though, is with one plot, you will not be able to create anything.
Oh, okay, you're going to need different types of resources.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was getting at. Is like I'm basically my options are grow a shit ton of food, and I can consistently sell half of my food because I'll be consuming the other half, or I can do something else like try and build the arena. So that's pretty much like where I'm coming at that from. Is it's It's going to take some doing.
Well, no, that's another thing. You never know exactly what you're gonna get long term with Splinterlands, like what's going on way down the line, what changes might happen to balance the economy.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff scares me, but like especially for people trying to like just make money with Web3, and not just make money, but that's maybe a bigger part of their motivation to get involved with Web3 games. I'd still think Splinterlands is probably the best place to make it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna badmouth them. It's like just look at like how much effort you're having to put into Dragon Memories. Now imagine these guys working on this game for the past 5 years.
Right?
That's a godly amount of effort and blood, sweat, and tears. And not to mention like I don't know all the backstory behind like Hive Engine and stuff, but if you look at it in tribal decks, you see aggros there, you see cryptomancers there as a dev. Like I wonder how much of this they had to actually build themselves to put this game on top of it.
Pretty fair amount. I know that actually, like, Matt and Aggie were a big part of the move from Steam to Hive, and they were pretty instrumental in actually creating the blockchain Hive.
That's the thing too. Like this isn't even exact their one baby. They've like you said, they're deep in the hive.
Yeah, it's it's pretty impressive actually what they've done
Some
that
of the
people really don't realize.
some of the like videos I was watching on the Web3 games and economies, they basically said if you want to be successful, like the company itself, you have to be like basically the money changers as well as the game. Like you can't just put a game on ETH, Ethereum, blockchain and just leave it at that. You absolutely have to have your own token and you have to be the money changer getting that 3% here and there
Yep,
to
it's
stay
all
on.
about the fees.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is something that's baked in, because we are going to have liquidity pools for memories and recollections and whatnot, so you can trade each into each other and whatnot, so on and so forth. So you can really, you know, fairly easily get what you need in order to, you know, power up the right things to be able to progress. And it's up to you as to how you want to go about that. And there's going to be multiple strategies that, you know, are stronger in certain points and weaker in certain points. And I think that's another part of the importance of actually having a straight through storyline and a kind of a fixed set of monsters and everything like that, because I mean, that way we can make it so that, you know, magic is going to be really good here and not so good here, and ranged is going to be really good here and not so good here, and melee is going to be really good here and not so good here, and you know, every tactic we can approach that way. And obviously, I'm not going to try and approach things from a 100% balanced perspective. I'm more going to allow things to be rather off balance and then address that imbalance by adding other imbalances in other places.
Yeah, it's a whole like you're not just making a game, you're making a whole world and economy.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely the
Like I was looking at making like some kind of a pet rescue NFT game. Like so you'd have different types of volunteers. Like some would be like veterinarians or whatever, pet groomers, etc. And just trying to flesh out how the economy would work with that and coming to the realization like it's not you can't just make the board game and people buy it and you can just survive that way that we actually have to take those fees to stay viable. Like I just pretty much abandoned the project. I
yeah.
I know what I'm capable of, and I am not capable of doing something like Gabamat. I can't do it.
I mean, I believe in you because that I think is a big part of it as well. Is like it's not Yaba and Agro didn't do all of this themselves. Like they
Right.
started the ball rolling themselves, but it's all about the team. If you build a good team, you're gonna have a successful. If you build a good team that works well together and is focused on a common goal, then you're gonna have a successful project. Doesn't matter how good your team is. If the idea is shit, then the idea is shit. And if you have the best people in the world, but they absolutely despise each other and cannot work together, then you're going to have a shitty project.
Yeah,
I mean, just look
so
at the
many
American
things.
government. Hey!
Right. The stars have to align. You have to make the stars align.
Oh, yeah. You have to birth the stars.
It's a hell of a thing. And that's like I've tried other projects before. What was it? I don't only remember the name. Splinter sweepstakes. Like I had a WordPress site, and basically you go there and you take like a survey, and you get points, and then you could just hoard your points, or you can spend them all, and like that's how many raffle tickets you would get for the spin.
Okay.
And just doing that on a WordPress and trying to find the right plugins, and you got to hire a guy to put in this piece or that piece. And that's the thing. What happens when one of these pieces breaks in the middle of the night, and you got to try to find somebody to fix it? And like, thank God this didn't really get off the ground. I had like maybe 30 users, but my life ended up getting turned on its head with like COVID and people like loved ones being hospitalized and people dying and shit. So I put it on the back burner. Then eventually it just went away completely.
Yeah, I get you. Well, I guess if you're happy that it didn't come through, then it's all for the best. But it does sound like a pretty cool idea. And kind of like the very similar to the decision tree that I'm trying to really make an actual focus of the gameplay of, do I want to push on? Do I want to be safe and call it? And I think I got a big part of that inspiration from the tower defense game, Soulkeep. And the whole, okay, well, there's actually 6 levels to this level, and after you beat each one of them, you can call it good and collect your shit, or you can press forward. But if you lose, you'll get nothing. You deserve less.
You get to decide your risk level, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna add a lot of intricacy to the gameplay. And it's also going to make it pretty fun to watch. Because, of course, I'm also coming at it with a streamer's mentality, naturally. I mean, I wouldn't even be thinking about creating the game if it wasn't for this stream. Like, it's definitely a big part of it. And so I want it to be entertaining to play, but also entertaining to watch. And that's why having those, the 3D graphics and things looking nice is going to be pretty cool. And also, I really want to have the PFP for the race cards, and then the class cards will kind of work as an overlay. And I mean, ideally, I would really love to actually be able to see, like, the axe that you equip, or the sword that you equip, and the armor that you equip, and the helmet that you equip. I want to really see all of that, every single bit of it, on your character. Obviously, we're probably not necessarily going to see rings and amulets, but you may very well see some kind of aura from the ring or amulet or whatnot. And I feel like that's going to be really cool. Definitely want to have a functional mobile camera so that you can control your angles and shit like that. Because I know some people want to play with especially in a close follow, third-person style camera. There's going to be people that want to go closer, some people that want to go further away, some people that want to go higher, some people that want to go, off to one side or the other, whatnot. I definitely want to be able to have that kind of functionality.
Oh yeah, people love like free cams and stuff. And if it's all player versus environment, then there's no reason not to give them free cam control. For a lot of it anyway. A lot of leeway.
And then we are going to be adding in an arena feature as well later on, like for the real game, or maybe further on in Dragon Memories, but not for like the first couple of dungeons. They're just going to be straight through single player. Probably for some of the later dungeons, we will introduce multiplayer, so you can actually team up and form a party of varied skill sets and whatnot to work together. I have no fucking clue how we're gonna go about that yet. That's just one of those things that is in the back of my mind. We're not at all focused on it yet because it doesn't matter right now. Right now, I got enough to do without worrying about all of that as well. But it's definitely something that's kind of on the list.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also had an interesting... Actually, let me grab my notebook for this. Kind of a suggestion of... It's not an actual arena mode, but it will function kind of similarly, and it's at the same time it's kind of like the war aspect of Battle of the Bands. And like at first I would have thought that's fucking war. It's the worst card game ever. It's stupid. Nobody's gonna like that. Nobody's gonna want to play that. But seeing how much people actually love Battle of the Bands, like, okay, we can do something similar. So we're going to have... Here we go. So a kind of a new take on a little aspect of PvP/war, where it would be only cards that you own, unlike Battle of the Bands. And you would just go in, and it's just going to be a quick 1v1. And it's only one card. So you flip your card, your opponent flips their card, one of the cards wins, one of the cards loses. Or there could be a draw, whatever. But the card that loses is marked as defeated, and it can never be used again in that head-to-head combat.
Oh, wow.
It also will have lessened rewards for burning it. Will not affect anything as far as regular gameplay. Just means if you burn the card, you're going to get 10% less rewards from it, and it cannot be used in the arena. But because that card got marked, you are also going to earn a soulbound token representing the piece of the card that is missing. And I have not yet figured out how we're actually going to integrate a reward system for having those points, but they will be something that you want to have. So even losing that stupid ass game of war is still good for you. But then also, if you win, then your cards get not actual improvements, but they get, you know, a kind of a notification on them. You get bragging rights for how many games you have won with a specific card as well. And so I think it's going to be kind of cool.
When playing War, is it just going to be a random card from your collection, or is it one you specifically pick?
I think it's actually going to be a specifically picked. Since we're only doing one card, it's basically going to be, you pick the card that you want to play. Your opponent picks the card that they want to play. And sometimes you're going to not care and you're just going to play cheap cards that you don't care about just to get, you know, the losing side of things. But if you want to win, then you gotta, again, you got those decisions. Do you play your best card knowing that if it loses, you will never be able to play it again?
That's tough. A lot of things to figure out.
Yeah, definitely that. And I mean, that one is, if we can actually do that with public launch, that would be cool, but it's not a priority by any means.
It's a pretty neat mechanic. Like, you're gonna lose 10% on its whatever value, but you're also getting this other token which might make up for it.
And honestly, how often do you actually burn cards for rewards anyways? Like, it is
Never.
an actual and not insignificant penalty, but it's pretty insignificant and it's really not there because it's a penalty on something that you're not gonna fucking do anyways. The real penalty is you can't use it in battle again, or in that battle again. So I can still take it into the dungeon, whatever, but it also means that, like, yeah, it stops you from just always wanting to play your strongest card, because if you lose it, then you'll lose it. So I feel like it's a really interesting kind of way to tackle it. You're going to have very differing decisions about what you're going to kind of want to pick, what your strategies are going to be. And then there's another question on that comes from Splinterlands, and we've seen kind of both sides of this coin. When you were in your team select phase or your opponent discovery phase, you used to have a name there, and now you don't. How much do you think it would change things if you could actually know who you were playing against in a mode like that? Because you're going to have some people that are almost always going to play their highest, strongest, biggest card. You're going to have some people who never do. And so you can kind of also improve yourself by knowing who and what.
Well, like, will there be a previous matches thing where you get to see which card they played previous wars?
I don't think that would actually be very good. I think that the name would be good, but since we are talking about a single card, I think that showing their actual battle history would probably be
A little too much.
yeah. There we go.
If you know it's a whale and he's got one of those few promo cards, that's just gonna win against 99% of people anyway.
True. True. And I have not figured anything out as far as like the ranking system or how, how points would be awarded to cards, how you would figure out which card wins. But I would also kind of not mind seeing something of like a rock, paper, scissors kind of aspect in there as well. So even though somebody has that card that is, more powerful than any other card, there's going to be weak cards that can still beat it because they're attacking it from the correct angle. Kind of like Magic beats melee beats ranged, or something along those lines. I'm not actually saying that's what it would be, but...
Or something like Force Field, where if it's like a ridiculous amount of damage, well, guess what? In this case, it's actually reduced to like basically nothing.
Yep. I actually lost a game today because of Force Field. My sandworm hit a mycelic slip spawn, and I thought it was going to kill it, and I was like, what? What? How the hell did that survive? Did I miss? Oh no, Force Field, you took 1 fucking damage. God damn it.
Oh, I miss the days where it was all about that damn worm.
Oh, damn.
Before Chaos came out. Oh my god.
I mean, Sandworm is still an amazing card. I feel like there's a lot of people sleeping on Sandworm. And I just surrendered a match because I was not paying attention, and I actually got one while I was on another tab. Oops. Hate it when I do that.
How's the what do you even call that, energy points working out for you? You think you're playing more or less because of it, or does it really even affect you?
It really has not made much of any difference. I spend far too much time at 50 energy, just like I spent far too much time at 100 ECR. I really need to get a couple more Xbot tokens, or at least one more. Even if it was light, I wouldn't care, because this account is mostly gold and just goes into diamond end of season. So a light would work. And I've actually been kind of thinking about taking it off of Get Good Scrub and putting it on this account. But it's like, I really don't want to try playing that account by hand. And I am enjoying the collection that it is amassing right now. So, I really just want to get another fucking token.
Well, since my one PC went down, like it had... Ugh, that's where I had everything favorited and all my Hive keychain and shit set up. I still got my keys and everything. I'm just lazy. But ever since that PC went down, I haven't really been paying attention to Hive Engine and the prices of tokens and shit.
They just keep going up.
And it's kind of nice, actually, taking just a couple weeks to step back and kind of forget about it.
Yeah, it definitely makes a pretty huge difference.
I was religiously like at every town hall since like 2021 August or whenever I started, I think July. Like I didn't miss a single one, but I haven't listened to one for like the past 3 weeks now. That's kind of awesome.
I'm in a very similar boat. I don't think I actually found out about the town halls that early, mostly because I don't do anything in Discord, like, ever. So I didn't find out about the town halls until probably middle of last year. But yeah, ever since I found out that they were going on, I've missed a bunch of them live. Honestly, I can't even say I've caught most of them live. Like, most of them I'm doing the rewatch, but not only am I rewatching them, the vast majority of those in between now and when I started have been, like, at least twice. I would listen to them because I was also trying to, like, do, content in response to it. So, like, that was one of the big things that I did. And, there's been a lot of really cool stuff happening on them. And yeah, it's been kind of nice to not have to worry about it at all because
I like the cutback in the FOMO. It's not Aggie's not leaving me an obvious few breadcrumbs this week about this cool thing is going to happen. It turns out it's not as cool as you made it out to be.
it never is.
And
it
like,
pains me to say that, but yeah, it's just like everything has some semblance of letdown.
yeah, that's the one thing about being really good about, chief FOMO officer is after a while, people are gonna either have unachievable expectations of you, or they're just gonna tone you down in their own estimations.
Yeah, and I definitely am trying intentionally to not kind of come off as the chief FOMO officer. I very much believe in a philosophy of under promise and over deliver. I don't want to over deliver. I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm selling smoke and then delivering air. Like that's
Right.
something that I'm very much the other way around. So then again, I guess, I am saying a lot about how hyped I am about this shit. But that's just also because I'm, working on the project and I'm super stoked. But I'm not going around talking about how Uncle Rick will make you rich.
Push and shove, get a mortgage. I don't think he's ever gone that far, but he is very confident and enthusiastic about his product. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, that's also important. I mean, how good do you think the game would be doing if Eggy were just like, yeah, I mean, whatever. We're doing this new thing, and it might be all right. It might suck. I don't know, but you should get in now, and we're gonna keep doing things. And by the way, I know we did this pre-sale for this land 2 years ago, and y'all are still waiting. But well, suck it up, Buttercup. We're gonna do what we do, and we'll deliver what we deliver, and you're either gonna like it or not. Like, I don't feel like we would be in a better position if that were the case.
Yeah, there's a time there where there's just one too many pre-sales.
Oh yeah, no, I get you. I get you. But I mean, also, like, I think Sensei Bullrog is the perfect example of this. Like, I don't get to watch nearly enough of his streams. Number one, because I don't have enough time in the day to consume content because basically it's all packed up with content that I'm consuming. But also because he tends to be on right about fucking now. So, like, just conflicting schedules. But man, he is so fucking awesome. Like, I cannot be in one of his streams and not be having the time of my life. He's just got such a great energy to him, and it's infectious. And it's like Garlic. Garlic's the same way. Like, you can't have a bad time watching Garlic just be Garlic. I know I don't have that same magnetism. I am not just necessarily always super fun to watch me, super hype, super energetic, and it's not me. Sometimes I'm tired as fuck, and you'll know it when I'm tired as fuck, like right now. I'll talk, but I'm not fucking bouncing off the walls and shit like that. Bullrog and Garlic are always bouncing off the walls, and Bullrog, he never overpromises anything. He doesn't. He's like, this is what we just did. He's never talking about this is what we're gonna do. Even when he does, it's like in a direct question answer type of thing. Like, hey, so when am I gonna be able to play with these awesome cards? Q4. But this is what we just did. And like he's talking about the things that are done and not the things that are coming. and he's just so upbeat, so high energy, so fun to listen to. That is more of the kind of vision that I have for it. And I definitely need to step up my own game to meet that. But that's it's awe-inspiring, really, especially knowing that this guy's got, a full-time job and a bunch of kids, and he's putting together this game, and he's running fucking content for other shit, and he's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, I never really watched any of his streams until playing that Avalon game. He was playing a lot of it too, so I'd see him on, you get around to Googling him and catching some, and yeah, he's very high energy and very go get him.
Yeah. So tell me more about Avalon. How much have you been messing with that? Are you enjoying it? Are you still fucking with it?
I enjoyed it until my PC went down. Right now, basically, alpha is done, and they're going to be opening servers on the weekends here and there for people to play. But beta is not scheduled to start until December of this year.
That is a long fucking gap.
Yeah. Here's the thing, okay? They're going to do a subscription thing, but you have to pay $50 a month to be a tester, basically. Which means you can't stream the content. You are basically paying them for the privilege of finding their bugs.
Yeah, that does not sound right. I do have a plan for a $10 buy-in for this and whatnot, but that's going to include, one of each pack. So you're getting more than $10 value just in the packs. It's that's going to happen when we do the public launch.
That won't be the only way you're going to be able to play between now and December, but it's going to be just whenever I don't know if it's going to be every weekend or if it's just going to be maybe a couple times a month where you can actually play again, but it's definitely not going to be as accessible, and there's going to be a little bit of lull there, so I feel like it's going to kind of hurt them PR-wise. But also, it's called Danu. This is the name of the company making the game. And they're not a very big team from what I understand. But the way they're approaching it is they're using Unreal Engine 4 right now. They are going into Unreal Engine 5. They were actually developing them both. And they can just basically carry it over from 4 into 5 pretty much seamlessly.
Cool.
And they're basically paying for software to implement in their game, artificial intelligence for the enemies.
Oh, now that would be really cool. As much as I'm saying, we're gonna have a kind of straightforward storyline, and so you'll have the same rooms and the same monsters. I would not mind having them act differently based on what you're doing.
Oh yeah, and basically what I'm saying is it's cool, and so that's how they're gonna be able to accomplish this kind of game with such a small team, is just being able to do asset flips. But at the same time, that's what's not gonna make it as special, because if you got an eye for it, you can find on Steam the same game assets across so many different titles, and all it is plug and play, and it's these indie devs just they're trying to make their buck by flipping these assets. Which, more power to you. If you can make a fun game, great. But as far as when it comes to Web3, you got to be it's going to be interesting how soon they can release compared to other projects that are able to utilize Unreal Engine 5 like they are.
Gotcha.
Because they're not Yabba Matt and aggroed and like these. I mean, sure they're creative, but I don't think they're very much big into like coding as much as they are with the Splinterlands team. So I don't think it's going to be like it's like I don't know. It's not going to be as special, but it is going to be a game that is pretty and playable, but maybe not game of the year if they don't get it out before the next wave of people using Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, gotcha.
But what I do like about it is it's going to be an MMORPG, which means this is a game that's not going to re-release every year, like Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be Avalon for a decade.
That is exactly what we're going for with the full game for Galil. Dragon Memories is just kind of an introduction to the world, introduction to the lore, but it is very specifically relegated to each dragon has the memories of their own side, and so you are exploring that little bit by little bit and learning about what this world has been through. But from there, that's when the real game is going to begin later, and that's what we're picturing for that is a full world MMO.
And that's like honestly, if it wasn't for like the prospect of actually like being able to make some money or at least enough to where it pays for your gaming, like you can basically pay for the game itself, like make your investment back. I probably wouldn't be that big in the Web3 anyway. So that's kind of where my priorities lie. I like the idea of being able to make money.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally understand. It's not even about making money so much for me. I mean, that part of things is really nice, but it's all of this money that I've put into games like League of Legends or World of Warcraft or anything like that that is just gone. Just
Yeah. Black hole.
And I don't necessarily mind it, but having something from it that not only do I have the ability to sell, but I have permission to sell. That's the part of it that I love. And that, even if On the Mountain got banned right now, I don't lose any of this, any of my cards or anything like that. I can still use other tools, come in, get all my shit, get it the fuck out of there, whatever else. Like, that's huge to me.
Oh yeah, it's real ownership.
Exactly. Because like that was the number one thing that dissuaded me from ever getting into Magic Online. It's like it's just shit. Like I have friends that lost their account or lost access to it or whatever, and they're just completely fucked forever. Like, no, that's not right. And it's just a refusal. I am not going to spend that much more money to buy all of these cards that I already own in paper, buy them again on a platform where I don't own them and have no control over it. Yeah, you're off your rocker on that one.
That's a really healthy way to get into Web3 is, you're just happy with the actual ownership of the assets. For me, it's like I'm not the sharpest knife in the kitchen, so I was Splinterlands provided a way for me to own assets that would create value for me, and it was really simple. It's not some boring bank bullshit. Right. It was you get these cards and you run them, and it's that freaking simple. That's why I got into Web3. I'm tampering myself to where it needs to be more about the gameplay and just asset ownership and being happy with that. Which I don't know, like with Avalon, the only reason I probably bought the things I did was just because I was taking value, shifting value from Splinterlands to another project.
Which is also a very solid game plan.
Yeah, bigger portfolio. But I'm wondering if that's the thing, is Avalon gonna be the next Splinterlands? You know, the next number one, DAP on Hive, etc. Something of that notoriety. I don't
And
know.
what do you think? Does it have the chops?
After watching the Unreal Engine 5 stuff, I'm wondering what is gonna set a game apart to like be the number one. And what it's gonna come down to is just like the brilliant minds of the creators. Because it's no longer about your capabilities really. It's because everybody's gonna have these same capabilities with Unreal Engine 5. And you can just buy the assets and then apply them to your game as you see fit. So you don't have to be a jack of all trades anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But they might be the first out the door, and like he doesn't like the Marius. He's like the purse holder of the game, and pretty much the guy that calls the shots as far as what he wants in it and what he doesn't want in it. He he doesn't like putting numbers on it, but the way he was speculating, it sounded like I was going to be able to make like $14 a raid with this mythical character. And along with having this mythical character, I get like access to certain levels like other characters won't be able to get to. So like there's more value there. Then maybe there's loot there I can sell, etc. But the way he words things, you can tell he's kind of like he's talking like kind of lawyering it up, like you can't say I told you this. Like he doesn't even like calling them investors. He'll tell you this. He doesn't like calling people investors. He like calling them supporters. Like if they bought like in-game businesses like a mill or a stable, something like that.
Gotcha.
So I think he is. I don't know. With my old mindset of just trying to get ROI and do it quick, I don't think Avalon is the place for that. But I think it'll be a game. I mean, it's a game that he cares about. He's all deep into the history of like the Knights Templar and all that's going to be involved in the game.
Cool.
So it's all going to come down to him really with Unreal Engine 5 and how he wants to implement things. I mean, he talks like he's rubbing shoulders with a lot of big companies like PlayStation, etc. As far as just open lines of communications regarding how they can get on their platforms. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just tampering my expectations.
Which is probably also not a terrible way to go about things.
No, it's not. But it just makes you want to sell.
I can't fucking believe you said like December of this year. Like that blew my fucking mind because that's when we go into pre-alpha. So how in the fuck is it taking them that same amount of time to go from alpha to beta, unless they're expanding upon the game in a most dire and serious fashion?
And that's the thing with beta, he's only thinking these are just he's pulling numbers out of his ass too. I mean, he's not clairvoyant, but he says he's thinking like, we'll probably have like 300-400 players in beta. But what's interesting is you can like they're not promising too much, you know. Like he has his AMA, so I have a general idea of where he wants to take it. But like every day in the Discord, well, probably not every day, but quite often, you'll come across a post like, "Hey, we added 3 more quests to the game this week." Blah blah blah. So there's you know there's work going into it constantly.
Cool. Yeah, that's another thing I need to get a lot better about actually fucking being on Discord. Cause like, yeah, I'm sure people would feel a whole lot better, and I'd be getting a little bit more attention on the game and whatnot if I was actually posting in there every day all of the work that is actually being done. I know I did a couple of updates recently, so hopefully like people are feeling good, but yeah, definitely improvements to be made.
Oh yeah, and there's all things in moderation. If you're in there hyping up your game all the time on Discord, you're not getting as much as you could have done.
Exactly. That is exactly a great point.
And that's the thing too, like if you want to be under promise over deliver, having constant communication every day, I don't know. I think you would find yourself more prone to the over promising part, just to in the sake for the sake of keeping the conversation going.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very solid point as well. You're 100% correct there. Gotta find and strike a balance as to what's going to be the best way to proceed. Oh damn! I didn't bring a fucking amplify. That was stupid of me.
That's another good thing about Avalon, though. I mean, it's such a small team. They try to do personal touch stuff, and sometimes their support is lacking. Like it might take a while for them to get to you, or like they actually ended up sending me an extra NFT like I shouldn't have got. Luckily for them, I sent it back. Like, hey, this was a mistake, but you can tell they got some growth to do and they could be a little more proficient, but I don't know. I think they're okay. There's some potential there. And it was just so fun having a 3D environment Web3 game to play. Not this auto battle or clicking crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I actually used an Xbox controller and I could time parries and swing, it's pretty fun.
Do I actually want roommates or fluorite here is the question.
I mean, Rogue mentioned something about possible rug pull suspicions, but I haven't seen. I've been watching their Discord for a little bit. I haven't seen really anything too suspicious. I haven't heard any alarms anywhere else. So, but like that's another thing about me is I'm so hell bent on getting in on ground floor with things because I want to be there from something's beginning.
Right.
So, but instead of paying, $20 for a plot of land for Splinterlands, I dropped $600 for a farm in their game, which, gives you storage and you get grains and whatnot. But there's not like going to be an outside market where I'm selling these grains.
Gotcha.
Like on a Hive engine kind of thing. It would just be like player to player trading kind of stuff. Oh, that's kind of might have been a bonehead move on my part. Maybe I should have just got the hut, you know?
God damn, I just fucking lost 3 in a fucking row again. This season has been fucking terrible. I got one win away from Gold 1, and then I lost 10 in a row.
Oh, wow.
And I have not been even close to Gold 1 again. And there's 5 days left. Like, normally by this point, I'm halfway through Gold 1 and, like, considering when I want to push into Diamond.
Yeah, when I beefed up my deck, it turned into, it's like Candy Crush, you know? You push yourself to the absolute edge, and then it's like, man, you need some power ups if you even want to stay around.
Yeah.
But I like the good old days of playing in like Silver League and actually having fun, because you win some, you lose some, and it usually came down to how clever you were being about your card selection, not what level your cards were.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a solid point right there. I mean, there are definitely still some times where some things can work out and whatnot, but yeah, it really does come down to what cards you have, what level they are, and
And I mean, yeah, playing out the higher leagues, of course, collection is going to have a huge say.
yeah. And I'm honestly amazed, even in Wild, at how much I lose to people who basically only have Chaos, maybe some Rift Watchers. Because it's like, I have everything except Chaos and Rift Watchers. The power creep is real.
You got to give you a reason to keep buying the new stuff coming out.
Right. That's why I was actually legitimately thinking about calling my game power creep for a little while.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, like, that's exactly it. Is like, every time you move forward into the next room, all of the monsters are 10% stronger. Like, that's the type of thing. Like, it is going to be straight up. It's a creep, but it's absolutely and undeniably there. And then that's kind of the whole point of it is, yeah, you're gonna feel pretty good about exploring the dungeons starting out early. You're not gonna have much of any problems. But once things start getting difficult, they just keep getting more and more difficult, faster and faster.
Yeah, 10% adds up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, like, by the time you get to floor 100, room 10 to face the final boss, you're looking at their stats are being modified by something along the line of 512,000%.
That's something to think about, too. Like, Call of Duty and skill-based matchmaking. Like, sure, you're never going to be that's the thing. You're never going to be the worst guy in the lobby. You're never going to be the best guy in the lobby. And it's always going to be a grind. It is not for casual play ever. It is always pressing the limits. And that's good because you're honing your skills or whatever. But like for me, an older guy playing video games like that, and like I'm pretty much tapped. I'm at my potential.
Right.
Mentally. That kind of gameplay kind of sucks for me.
Yeah, I get you. And that's another one of the things about Dragon Memories that, like, is intentional. It's like, it's... I want it to have something for the casual gamer and something for the hardcore gamer. So, it is going to be casual because you're not going to be going all in, like, all day, every day, and trying to maximize. It's casual because you only get one entrance every 16 hours and 40 minutes.
Right, and
But
every run, 90% of that run is ground you've covered before.
yeah, exactly. And actually, probably more than 90% most of the time, unless you've made significant upgrades. But it is going to be intense to try and actually finish. Like, being one of the first ones to finish finish all of Kamidora, that's going to it's gonna take a hardcore player to do that. You're not even gonna be able to just buy your way to the top on that. It's going to take skilled play. And then you got also the aspect of like, if you take a day off, it's not gonna actually hurt you. It's not gonna work against you. You're not gonna lose anything for it, but you are definitely paying an opportunity cost for everything that you could have gotten that day.
Yeah.
And then we also, take it one step further by, there's 5 dragons, and you can do each one of them 5 times, or once every 16 hours and 40 minutes. So then there's also that decision of, okay, well, do I run a little bit of everything, or do I really focus on beating this one?
Yeah, I like the concept. I'm wondering though, in like level creation, so you earn enough energy to explore another room about every 6 minutes, was it?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
But that will also change. Like, you already have at least 2 NFTs, or at least 1 NFT, that will increase that by 10%. And part of that $10 package is going to be one of each pack and a 10% energy recharge boost. So nobody's ever going to actually have a 3-minute energy time.
I hear you. Well, what I'm thinking is, like, later stages in the dungeon where it gets harder, maybe there's more monsters, maybe the monsters are just tougher to kill. What happens when we get to the point where it takes more than 3 minutes to actually get through a level? I mean, not that it would be that big of a deal.
Hope you're low on energy when you get there. I don't really expect many fights, aside from boss fights, to take that long. But it's a good question, because it's something that I hadn't really thought about from that exact angle. So yeah, I honestly thought about it more of people running out of energy rather than taking longer to clear a stage.
Than it does to get that 1 point back.
Which, yeah, I mean, at that point effectively means that there isn't much of an energy requirement, which is also fine. Like, the energy is just really there to be part of the gatekeeping process. Like, the energy is really there to make sure that someone can't come in, spend $1 million, and beat the game on day one.
Yeah.
Because you're still gonna have to fucking go through shit. And also because there is going to be a system where when you beat a boss, and I mean 10 floor boss, when you beat a boss for the first time, or sorry, each floor boss, 10 rooms to a floor. When you beat the floor boss for the first time, you get an NFT that you beat that boss. Every subsequent time that you beat that boss, that NFT will basically level up. And once it hits certain breakpoints, like once you have actually beaten the boss 10 times, now you don't ever have to fight that boss again. You can just skip that whole level. But if you do, you're not going to earn anything from it. Or you can continue playing through it, and you can keep fighting that boss, and you can keep leveling up that NFT. And if you hit certain higher breakpoints, then okay, well now, instead of, because normally it would be 10 energy per run, right? Or per floor, because it's 10 rooms. So when you first unlock that ability to skip, it's only going to cost you 9 energy. So you save 1 energy for that floor. But if you keep going through it and keep powering it up, then that energy cost will become cheaper. And then once you get it high enough, then you'll unlock an ability to not just skip the entire floor and pay less energy to do it, but you can also start picking up some of the rewards as you're running through, and you will never get 100% rewards. You will never get credit for killing the boss if you skip the floor, but you can still earn something if you've killed the boss more than 50 times.
That's an interesting mechanic. Be interesting, yeah. And then like, because the leaderboard is floor, room, and time.
Yup.
So time is a factor.
Time is a factor, and also, I mean, you got less than 17 hours to clear 100 floors, and you're only gonna get, in those 1,000 minutes, you're gonna earn 333 energy. So figuring out ways to save energy when you're going deep into it is going to be an important thing as well. And so yeah, I think it's going to be another one of those really interesting decision trees that people have to figure out.
And you mentioned before that the layout is always going to be the same, right? So you're going to know where you can cut corners.
Yeah, because I think that's also going to be a big part of allowing people to actually get through everything and whatnot, is to, like, your first time through is a learning process. You got to figure out what the hell to do and how things are going to work, and then you'll figure out how to do it better. And that's also kind of where the entire concept of the boss is, once you've beat the boss enough times, then you can skip it, or you can continue to fight it to make skipping it better. And so, like, eventually you'll get to the point where, you know, if you've, you know, it's day, you know, 500 of you running the dungeon, you can skip all the way down past level 50 or floor 50 just on, you know, the energy that you started with, and you're able to pick up, you know, 50 or 60% of the loot all the way down while so doing. That's going to be super helpful. But, you know, when you just unlock that, you know, the first time you are able to skip that boss, you really don't want to. It's an option, you can do it, but you don't want to do it. And yet I feel like there will be people who do. The very first time you're able to skip, they'll start skipping it, and they'll end up getting a little bit ahead very early on, and then falling way behind a couple of months or weeks down the road.
Gotta grind that better gear.
Well, not just that, but even like every single time you kill that boss, that shit leveling up. Like, even whether or not you're gaining any of the loot from those drops, just the simple fact of you are not getting that boss kill is pretty huge. So I feel like most people are probably going to try and play it, and then every once in a while are going to, okay, let's see what my best run can be, and then just hammer down and skip. All right, now let's play.
Yeah, especially trying to climb the leaderboard. Maybe today's the day you want to see how high you can get on the leaderboard, and the other time you're trying to grind to get the better equipment.
Ugh. Ah, shit. I just realized it's already fucking 3 o'clock. Goddamn, where did the time go? And how much energy have I gone through? I'm still at 43. Oh my god. Been here for 3 hours, so I've played 10 games. In that time, I have won... Okay, 4 out of 10. That's not too shabby. Definitely doesn't make me feel great, but it's sure better than 10 losses in a row. And then the other day I was 2 for 9. I didn't play the 10th game that one. I was just like, fuck this. Fucking done.
Yeah, I suppose maybe I should go to bed.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing too. We're gonna go ahead and hop on over into my channel. And we're gonna say incoming on Splinterlands TV. Alrighty, and as always, y'all, thank you so very, very much for joining us. I have been Rick, you've been on the mountain, and it has been a wonderful time. When we get over into Splinterlands TV, I will go ahead and, of course, drop that link. Please click to make sure that your views count for the channel, and I will be back on right back here in about 21 hours and 5 minutes. So, in the meanwhile, keep kicking ass, because you're fucking awesome. Thank you once again, and have a fantastic night.